Hi, my name is Nina. I'm a recent graduate of Weill Cornell Graduate School with a degree in health policy and economics. My hot take for this week is the rise of the internet expert. So one of my friends and I, we talk quite a bit about politics. We had the same foundation because we attended the same high school. We've been best friends quite literally since like 2012. And we've talked about it a lot where everybody thinks that they're an expert because they've read a series of tweets. And they argue with people who are dedicated political scientists or actual people who work in government. And you see it in science, you see it really spanning throughout completely different fields. And I think one of the most frustrating things about it is that some of the people who also go along with these takes or kind of think that their opinion should be treated as fact are other graduate students, or they're people who might attend these really prestigious universities. And I think that can be really difficult because I'm like, is this the kind of thinking that they encourage at this school, right? And you can state that the views are your own, but once it's out there, people then have this perception of you or whatever it is you study, right? So I think that that's kind of bothersome because we can all Google something, but it doesn't mean that everything we read is correct. And two, just because I've read something for 15 minutes does not make me an expert on the topic. I'm certainly not going to argue with somebody who has 2 decades worth of experience or frankly 5 years worth of experience when I have 5 minutes of reading an article on it.
That's a good hot take, and I feel like it's very relevant, especially in the age of misinformation. This kind of reminds me of, have you guys seen this like mug that's like, don't confuse your Google search with my 4-year medical degree? That's what that reminds me of. Joanna, what is your hot take?
Oh, very different from this.
You have to intro yourself first, remember.
Okay. Well, going back to your hot take, I just wanted to say that like people who do end up becoming experts on something actually realize how much more they don't know.
Right.
So that's one thing I wanted to contribute to that conversation. But yes, I agree with whatever you said. So my name is Joanna, and I am a 3rd year graduate student at Rockefeller, studying senescence. And my hot take.
Wait, you should explain what senescence is for our audience.
Oh, it's basically like when cells go into irreversible cell cycle exit. And like cell cycle exit as in like they stop like dividing and proliferating, and irreversible meaning that they can't go back to that state. Okay, so my hot take is very different from Nina's because I just thought about it on the spot, but I remember there was some like episode of some, I don't know, what was it? It was some Netflix documentary series, and it talked about like a group of like a nudist community in Florida or something. And my hot take is, I don't know if it's that hot, but I think that clothes are unnecessary. I think it's a social construct. Like if you think about it, the fashion industry is so destructive to the environment, and it's like really bad for the climate and stuff. And it's like, why do we need so many clothes? And if people weren't like embarrassed of like their bodies and stuff, we could literally like walk around nude and it'd be like totally fine. I mean, sure, it'll get cold, but then like you just need like one jacket. Like you don't need like 15 different sweaters. That's my that's my hot take. I literally thought of it just now.
But what about accessorizing? Like I don't know. I personally find a lot of joy if I'm channeling my inner Marie Kondo. I find a lot of joy from outfits though.
But it's not but it's not a necessity. It's just something that, yeah, like it makes you happy. I get it. Like I love accessorizing too. I don't think makeup is necessary, but I wear it every single day. But I guess my thing is, it's just like, we could literally just like, why didn't we evolve to just be naked all the time?
Bro, it's cold. We're in New York. It is cold.
Yeah. It was 50 degrees this morning and I wasn't.
It was. I was walking my dog. I was dying.
So was I.
But my point is that like, but once you go indoors, I mean, like, why do we need to cover ourselves up? Why can't we just let the world see us for who we are?
I'm not
Very
gonna lie,
wholesome.
Joanna. I think you really gotta have us thrown for this one. This is amazing. This is a valid point. It's just not a point I would have thought of, but definitely valid.
Yeah, that's a very hot take, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good. Yeah.
My hot take for this week, maybe
Don't
you guys
start
have
your
heard
intro.
that-
Your intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Ellie and I am a second-year graduate student trying to get my PhD at Rockefeller University in New York City, and I study cancer. And my hot take for this week, if you guys have been paying attention to the news recently, revolves around the Free Britney movement. And so if you guys are familiar with the term conservatorship, or the whole case study of Britney Spears, basically, but essentially since she was, I think, 18 or sometime in the 90s, she stopped being in charge of her own financial affairs and in charge of her own estate, and she couldn't make basically very adult big girl decisions, essentially.
Actually, it happened in 2008, the conservatorship. She was 26.
Really?
So she
Okay,
was
thank you for
26 at the
correcting me.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
But then
so-
she was free. She was basically free from 1998 to like 2004. And then she had that whole spiraling from like 2004 to 2007. Then 2008, they put her in a conservatorship. I am a huge Britney fan.
I love it. And yeah, so just for our audience, this very public mental health breakdown really manifested when she shaved her head and when she like destroyed a paparazzi's car with like an umbrella.
So iconic.
and so she was placed under the conservatorship of her father. And recently, I think this week actually, a judge, I think, ruled that the father provided like a toxic environment for Britney, and so really my hot take is it really revolves around this idea of conservatorship and really under what conditions is conservatorship necessary. And if we really think about it, I think it's important to keep in mind that Britney Spears came out with Hit Me Baby One More Time, which is like one of her all-time favorite songs. When she was 16. What were you guys doing when you were 16? I wasn't developing a number one hit that is like so iconic, you know? And so she really shot to fame as a teenager. And so my thing about conservatorship is that I think this may be just because of how the media made it sound, but basically what it sounded like is that her father kind of provided testimony for why Britney is not in a good state, why she can't, why she shouldn't have control over financial matters, why she shouldn't be making big decisions in her life. And my hot take is that those decisions shouldn't be made by your dad or somebody like that. I think it should be made by a mental health professional or some kind of practitioner who can actually give a more objective and clinical based assessment of your capacity to make your own decisions. And so yeah, that's my hot take. Free Britney, although I think she's going to be freed relatively soon. And I think she celebrated on Instagram pretty recently. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so my hot take on that is I would just say, like, even if she is crazy, just let her be crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, okay, so, like the whole thing was like, oh, we're protecting her. Her life was out of control. But honestly, like, I just feel like every single celebrity in Hollywood has been through like really, like, this is kind of like almost normal, I think, in Hollywood, like whatever she went through in like 2006, 2007. And like, why don't you just let her just figure things out herself instead of like putting her in this conservatorship, And even if she is a little bit crazy, like, so what? Just let her be a little bit crazy. It's like totally fine, even if and I don't think she is, honestly. Like, she sounded like very like sure of herself, and like that June 23rd hearing that was the day that I like defended my TRP, and that was the day that Brittany spoke out her truth. So I just feel like we have like this, I feel like me and
You guys have a
Brittany
connection.
yeah, I feel
Wow,
like we
that's
have,
beautiful, Joanna.
yeah, I remember right after I defended, I heard the news about her, and I was like listening to like this recording that this fan had outside of the court where she was like speaking her truth, and like I didn't want to like believe, like I didn't know whether or not like what to believe about like the conservatorship stuff until she said it like straight from her mouth, and that was like, you know, that was just like such a life-changing moment. But yeah, I guess it's not, I don't think it's really a hot take, but like my hot take is basically like, you know, even if you don't think that she's like mentally stable to like make her own decisions, like just let her like make these kinds of mistakes in her life. Like I think everybody goes through this phase, and she was just having a really tough time, probably because it wasn't even like her fault that she was having a tough time. It's like all these paparazzis and fans and like all this media, like the media just saying like mean things about her. I think they were just overblowing things in general, right? Like, you know, I think anybody would do what she did, you know, given the situation that she was in. So that's why I don't really, I just thought that the whole conservatorship thing was like super unfair to her at the time. Anyways, you know what?
And it went on for a long time. Like she
and
was under conservatorship for a very long time. And I'm kind of like,
she kept fighting
why?
it too. She kept on like quietly trying to fight it behind the scenes, and like she just wasn't allowed to talk about it. She was just saying like how her own family would like have interviews about this and make her feel stupid, and she wasn't allowed to like say anything.
It's like gaslighting.
And I just think like honestly, like Brittany has already given us so much already through her art. Like like if she wants to retire, like just go back to like Louisiana and just like go like have a family of your own. Like I don't think she like really owes anybody anything anymore. And like, you know, if she wants to like retire right now, she should have the money to do so if her like dad didn't spend it all. But yeah, that's like my thing. If I like as a fan, if I never saw Brittany again on the face of this earth, well, good, you know, because she's probably like enjoying her privacy then. Anyways, I'm so glad you brought it up. I totally forgot I had opinions about Free Britney.